Hi. Oh, I think I forgot to do my. Yep, it's terrible. Should get a StreamYard about that. I don't know how to make it stop. Anyways, just have to deal with a little echo, and then next time we'll fix it. Hi, everybody. Nice. Anyways, so welcome back to Demos with Dave. I have no idea what episode number this is because it's been a while since we've done one. Been busy at work with Base 3, Cab 3, stuff like that. But time to get back into it. So I got a new computer and realized I didn't have the intro loaded. So next episode I'll have that as well. So just have fun with me tonight while we review some of our latest trains. I have a few engines I want to show, four actually, but I want to start with a car first, just a sound car. And these are some of the few things that I would like to review tonight. But before that, I know some people are still wanting the Base 3 Cab 3, and I'll go over the status of that later on here in the episode. But right now, let's cover some of the latest samples we have. So let's add the choo-choo camera. Is there a way I can make myself small and the choo-choo camera bigger? No, other way around. There we go. So, first sample I want to show is the training car. We did, I think, 4 different road names of this. And the sample here, we have a decode sample. This is the Rio Grande. And you can see, the windows. This is just like the prototype, so the windows are painted over. It's road number X201. And it has actually an X observation car, so it does have a deck out back. One of the windows is blocked off. So it's kind of a neat car. Now this is not a command control car. This is a conventional operation. This is similar to our camp car, kitchen car, things like that. So what happens with this car is that in motion you get clickety clacks and the sound of a train moving. Freight sounds is what we call it. And when the car is stopped, you get classroom sound. So this is the car that the railroads would take around to various sites and train up crew. So we wanted to have fun with it and turn it into a classroom experience. So I'll turn on track power and just let the sequence play for a minute.
Welcome. Back to school we go. I'll be in the principal's office before lunch.
Gentlemen, please take your seats.
Where do you want us to take him, Teach? I'll go grab the locomotive.
All right, my name is Mr. Stadanko. Mr. Stadanko. Are you comfy now? Class, sit down and pay attention. All right, let's keep it down, please. Let's start with semaphores.
Hey, Don, what's a semaphore?
Sema for saying go, and sema for saying stop.
Psst, Carl, what'd you get for number 12?
Charlie, are you awake? What do you do with a flashing red signal?
If it ain't all red, it ain't red at all.
I hope this teacher grades this test on the curve. The track looks pretty straight to me. All right, please turn in your rule books to section 4.
Hey, Teach, when's recess?
Hey, Teach, I brought my pencil. I need something to write on. Now.
All right, I'm gonna stop it there. It keeps going on for a little bit longer, but fun little classroom of. Thought it would be funny to have a serious teacher teaching, a bunch of railroad guys, because you can only imagine the attitudes that railroad guys would have in a classroom setting. So, anyways, we turn the power back on. So that's when the sequence was playing, just so you know. And then when the car starts moving, it knows that it's moving, so it'll play the freight sounds. So you hear the clickety clacks, wheel scrapes and grinds, things like that. So, pretty cool there. So that was one thing I wanted to show. I'm going to take it off the track so it doesn't keep playing while we're reviewing engines. So let's get on into engines. The first two engines actually go back to volume 2 of 2022. These are two engines which we had issues with tooling. I won't go into specifics there, but we did have to invest quite a bit there, and we're finally getting them. So we have the EPs made of both of these, and the code has been released, and they are in production. And the latest production schedule, you can go on the lionelstore.com and see the shipping dates there. So without further ado, let me bring in the first engine. Now I am using the Cab 3 app and the Base 3 here. And so the engine that we'll be seeing is going to be the Pency A5. You can see the description there and the image pulled up. And I forgot to throw the switch. But it is a switcher, so it's good that it went through the switch. I tried to make a joke, and that wasn't all that funny. Let's try that again. Poor little guy deserves a better entrance than that. All right, Pency A5, 040. So as many of you know, we've had this A5 around for a long time. We've done Lion Chief Plus with it. We talked about doing Lion Chief 2.0 and actually decided to go full legacy with it because it's just a cool engine. And due to our tooling mishaps that we had and having to redo the majority of the tooling, we decided to take a look at the design, and we really upgraded this to a legacy level product. Where before, it was a lot more basic with a lot of these details either missing or molded in. A lot of things have now been externalized with a lot of added brass details, piping, and overall just some of the proportions have changed, things like that. So I'm going to take the camera and move around the locomotive just to show you some detailing before we do any sounds. So the front of the locomotive, you do have the class lights or marker lights there down on the beam. These are not bicolor because Pency did the yellow or the amber and the red lights. So that's what you get down on the beam, along with the headlight and some other front end details. And there's an electric coupler there. Now this engine does have stack smoke. And then as we go around, you can see all the various detailing that has been added to this engine. There's a drop plate in there. There is a locking tether in there. I know previous releases of small engines like this have had issues before with tethers. So we've started putting locking tethers on them so that they don't work their way loose and that they're fully seated, etc. These do have full cab interiors, and the back head or the back of the cabs have been added as well. We greatly lowered the tender. So the tender, if you look at prototype photos, the top here of the deck of the tender is actually flush with the bottom of the loco window. So we've done that, as well as added some other external details on the back of the tender with additional class lights, marker lights, and another electric coupler on the back there. So lots of detail added. Really cool little locomotive. So let me hold the camera here in one hand while I control in the other hand. Let's go through some of the features. Obviously, like I said, there's front and rear coupler. I'm going to turn the audio back up on the engine. The front coupler, rear coupler. Got that great Banshee whistle. Decided that I cannot do this one-handed, so I'm going to put the phone back here while I run through the audio. And let's go through some of the whistles. So now, hold on 1 second. Getting text messages and it's vibrating the whole screen. There we go. So let's go through some whistles. There we go. So that's the Banshee, which is the whistle that this real engine is famous for. Now this does have 5 whistles, so if you use the aux 1 key, somewhere in here, I'm backwards on screen. aux 1, and then you hit the whistle, you can cycle through the different whistles. That's a big whistle for a little engine. And then you got the bell too. And you get the same bell with 5 different pitch levels. And again, you just cycle through that using the aux 1 key and changing the bell. And I won't go through all 5. They're just 5 different pitch levels of that. And then we got the crew talk as well. And this crew talk is specific for switchers since this is a switcher. So, instead of tower, you hear yard tower or things like that. So.
Dispatcher, air test is complete. Can I move? Over. Please hold. Tower out. Dispatcher, air test is complete. Can I move? Over.
Random generator.
You can take the lead. Tower out.
Then it's got a little chuff to her you heard earlier. So yeah, she's a good little engine. This one does, since it is legacy, it does have full track IR. So you drive it over your LCS sensor track, and that's how the app already had the information uploaded to it as well as the image. These engines have Bluetooth, so they runs with the Lion Chief app or the Bluetooth side of the Cab 3 app once it's released. Great little locomotive, and a lot of work was put onto this one, and we're proud to bring a little locomotive with a lot of detail and really bring it to legacy standards. So I know everybody will be looking forward to that one. So time to drive her out. And I will move on to the next locomotive. Let me look through a couple of questions first. Now we get questions from both Facebook and YouTube, so you guys might not see everybody's comments depending on which platform you're on. Bubba asks, "Is the reverse light function is what should only in reverse?" Yes, our lighting is directional. So when the engine goes in reverse, the reverse light will be on. The headlight always stays on, but it does have Rule 17 lighting that you can turn on and off with the cab remote or the app. Let's see, what else do we got? All right, good. So next locomotive coming back from that same catalog back in 2022, C2, and this engine faced the similar situation with the tooling. So without going too much again into detail on that, give me one moment while I try to remember what I programmed it as. Was it 7? Nope. 3. Woohoo! All right, and so this is the early Berkshire, the A1 Berkshire, Boston and Albany Berkshire, whatever you want to call it. So let's bring it in. And now, turn the sounds down back real quick. I have not run this one over the sensor track on purpose. I wanted to show you guys the app when the engine does run over the sensor track. The sensor track is right here. And then I'll show you what happens on the app as it runs over. Woo. There you go. So you saw the information pull in. It changed it to the correct type. Let me stop the engine before it runs into the A5. And now this, I just have the phone connected to the base 3 and not to the internet. But any of these new engines with Bluetooth, if you're connected to the base 3 and the internet, because you can have it on your local internet, the app will reach out and download the engine's image as well from our online database. So at one point in time, I would have had the phone connected to internet, and that's why it had the image of the A5 on there. So just wanted to show that real quick. Let's back the engine up. And here's another engine that is known for its detailing. We have done these Berkshires before, but it has been many years. And it's kind of one of my favorite, but that's also because SP had them. And they got theirs from the Northeast as well. Pretty unique engine. It's a smaller Berkshire than, like the Paramark at 1225 or whatnot. And it has a lot more detailing on it. But again, a Berkshire 284. And it has the tender as well. Sorry for any echo. Like Vanna White. So, coal load, again, all the details. Front or rear coupler on this one. Track IR. It's got some detail there. This one does not have a drop plate, but there is some detailing in there. This one does have the bicolor marker lights up in front of the locomotive. I can show that here in a moment. And so on the Cab 3 app, just like with the Cab 2, if you hold down the Aux 2 button, the lighting menu will pop up. And with that, you get the marker light options. So by default, the marker lights are green. You press the marker light on button, turns them to white. Hopefully you can see that on camera. And obviously you can turn them off as well. And if the tender was equipped with bicolor marker lights, you'd have the same option, just with red and white. So let me go through some sounds here. 1 second. Turn up the volume. This guy is dual speaker, so it's louder than the little A5. Let me pull it ahead a little. I said ahead. There we go. All right. Then I'll play the bell. This being a road engine has standard crew talk.
Dispatcher, can we depart to the main line? Over. One inbound against you. Hold for the signal. Out. Dispatcher, I made up. Can I depart? Over. Clear to proceed east from where you stand at track speed. Out.
That's your coupler and all that. So a really nice engine, a really loud engine. I don't know if you can hear how loud it is. But there we go. All right. Let me go through the questions here before I pull this engine out, see if there's guys who have any questions specific to the A1 Burt. Ooh. All right. Quite a few people asking me to review the other Berkshire, and I will in a different episode, not today. We have not done the sounds yet, so I don't want to review the sounds on that one until we actually do them. So, but we will do an episode on that. See if there's any more on the A1 Burke. Peter's asking about the motor in this one. This one actually has the large motor up here in the firebox. Same motor that, you know, Big Boy or whatnot will use. All right, great. So let me pull this one out and we'll go to the next engine because still got 2 more to go. All right, Crashton asks why the pilot engines are black. These actually aren't pilot engines. These are EPs or engineering prototypes. And so these are the engines that we get from the factories before production ever starts. And this allows us to not only do the code and the audio, but also to check the mechanical. So we will go through and make sure the parts are to spec, things like that. And so the diecaster will usually just spray the diecast parts black. The brass and copper parts, whatever, they are just left bare. And so that is why. Next locomotive. This one is a newish one for us. It's an engine class that we've had before, but this specific model we did do some new tooling for. So let's bring that one in. 1. That's the number. That's the number I used. 1. And this is the Pennsylvania M1. And it's funny, the other 2 engines were black, and we just talked about why they're black, and then here comes a new engine that's not painted black. Hey, you never know what you get. Oop, I overshot the camera. All right. So let me turn that down. So this is the M1. We have done the M1A in the past, and we wanted to do the M1, and there actually were a number of detail variations in the shell itself. So we have done a lot of new tooling to replicate those details. Let me pick up the camera and show a lot of the side detailing over here. This is all part of the new tooling, as well as a lot of the details in the boiler itself. You can see that the smoke box front is actually a 3D printed piece because the tooling's still being worked on. So even though we've done M1A before, this engine is different enough that we had to do some new tooling for it. And it's a very impressive locomotive. You know, it's got that huge Bell pair firebox on it. This one does have stack smoke as well as whistle steam. And so did the A1 Burke that we just watched. The A5 we reviewed earlier had only stack because it's a little guy. Moving back. Now, the tender variation that I have here is the long haul tender. This also came with a smaller tender too. If you look in the catalog, you can see the different tender variations offered. This one I like because you get the doghouse with the crew figure in there. And that is a light that you can turn on and off as well with a cab remote. Now, one thing I'll note here is that, again, this is a Pency engine. So this one actually has, this engineering sample incorrectly has bicolor markers installed. But just like the A5, this will have the amber and red lights on the front and at the rear. Yeah. Got the train phone antenna there on the rear of the tender. Pretty cool. Big locomotive. All right, so let me set the camera back up and we'll go through some audio on this guy. Very good looking engine. Turn the audio back up. And this one you can see on the app, it does have the image downloaded. Defaults to the Steam settings with the name and number. And the bell as well. And with all the 5-pitch variations on that. And this will have the Northeast dialogue.
Engine to tower. Bottle's full. Continuity test is complete. Are we clear to pull over? We're waiting for a work extra to get in the clear. Hold for my signal. Out.
See if there's any smoke fluid in this guy. Since I haven't shown anything with smoke tonight. Nope, no smoke fluid. I probably should have put some in them before the show. You know how it goes. All right. So again, another very cool engine, very big engine, dual speakers in the tender, so you get just big volume. All right, let's move that out and get to our last engine. I'm starting to run out of real estate. Yeah. 1 second, let me move some engines around. All right, last engine. Let's see, what do we got? You guys put any questions in? Want to see some smoke? Oh, Nathan, let me show us smoke on the last engine here. That'll be good to do. And put the M1 to sleep and get to the last engine. So we have one more engine in the latest catalog we all saw. This is an engine that we have not done in many years, and one that I've always thought was pretty cool. But this is actually the Hiawatha, the Atlantic. So let's bring her in. All right. Yeah, this one has smoke working. Let's see if we can see it on the camera. I'll turn the volume down. So this one's got stack smoke. And then the other feature here that I'll be talking about is actually pop-off smoke. And that reservoir might be empty. I don't see nothing coming out of it. But what we got going on there is these engines in real life didn't actually have whistles. They only had horns, and that's why you heard it playing a horn when it came up. Oh, this one's got the whistle steam code in it. What we decided to do was we would put pop-off smoke in it instead of whistle steam, since that's prototypical. But since we did a Christmas version, we decided to keep it as whistle steam, because that's just more fun for a Christmas locomotive. So all of the actual road name engines will come with the pop-off smoke, and Christmas will get the whistle steam. But yes, this is a neat little engine. Again, let me pick the camera up and go around with it. Now, those of you may have seen the old versions, but it actually, I'm going to turn off track power for a second. This actually has the doors that open up front. And then inside, there's also a smoke box door, and that opens as well. I don't think I can get to it from this angle, but trust me, there's a door in there. It opens up also. And it will come with, you can remove the cover here and put in a coupler if you want. Those pieces will be included. And these little extra brass plates on the front, I try to combine front and side into fried. On the front, on the side, extra plates up on the tops. And various other brass details. Even though it's a streamlined engine, there are a lot of added on details. Brake shoes, handrails, steps, etc. Now, this was in a fully enclosed cab, so you can see the back there is flat. There's a little bit of detailing on the front of the tender. There's an oil tender, so flat on top as well. Until you get to the back where you get the fill ports. And there's no switches or nothing under here, but these little hatches do open. Pretty neat. Back of the tender, you got some bicolor markers, electric coupler. Again, sorry for the echo. So, nice little engine. It's going to come into some very sharp paint schemes. If you look in the Volume 1 catalog, lots of different paint schemes on this guy. So, pretty neat. Actually, the one we got here on the phone looks like it's the Santa Fe black and red version. Obviously, Hiawatha was Milwaukee Road. But we love to do our fantasy versions of engines that are pretty close. And so go ahead and check out the catalog and see which ones we made. And we'll go through the sounds. I got to turn back on track power.
Let's get an application for continuity test. Good application. Okay to release. Train 1 Brightman. We have good set, good release, good continuity on timetable train number 1. Over.
That's a Roger. Good set, good release, good continuity on timetable train number 1. Out.
All right, excellent. So now, as I said before, this engine didn't have whistles in real life, but in case you want whistles, we did add 2 in, since we do have different whistle options. Actually, 3 whistles, sorry. So the first 2 are the horns, that would be more prototypical, and then the last 3 would be the whistles that you can use. So let's go through those. You can see the whistle steam go. Again, the whistle steam will only be in the Christmas version, but this is just test code. Awesome. And we'll give the bell a try too. And that has all the different pitch variations as well.
Dispatcher, my train's made up. Am I clear? Over. Hold your position. Out.
Couplers, all the fun stuff. So, pretty cool engine that I'm excited we finally have brought back to the line. It's been 20 years or whatever it's been. So, great to see back. And anybody got any questions on this? Let me go through the comments and see. Oh, somebody saw the 150 IR with the PEP. I'll show that in a future episode as well. We getting our first samples in. That was in the latest catalog. Let's see. Michael did ask if the M1 has a separate reservoir for the whistle steam. It's not separate. That one has a main. So that one actually you can load the fluid in the stack, and that'll feed both stack and whistle. All right. So those are the engines I wanted to show tonight. I'm glad you guys tuned in to see. These are some of the latest samples, and there's a lot of other samples to show that I want to save for a future episode. Let me remove this. There we go. Not that you need to see me big again, but you know. Turn this guy off. There we go. So I will do another episode in the future where I show other samples as well. We have the Paramar Ketberg. I've got the FEF sample here. Just so many other samples to show. We have a working prototype of the Hotbox Reefer that I want to demonstrate as well. That one has had a lot of work put into it with a lot of new features added. Let's see, I'm reading questions. Again, so if you want any updates on the schedule, just go to lionelstore.com, and all of the ship dates are there, and that is up to date. And now I get to talk about the Base 3 and Cab 3. So I actually have a Base 3 that is in its final packaging, and all the materials and all the pieces and parts that will come with it. So the next episode of Demos with Dave, I plan on opening that with you guys, taking it out of the box and kind of showing you the quick setup method and connecting to it. Maybe we'll do a quick connection with both, maybe the Cab 2, Cab 1L, or the Cab 3 app, and just kind of show you guys those, how to do that. So that'll be probably the next episode, and then the episode after that will be the other engines that I talked about. Let's see. Somebody asked about the F19. Yep, we have that sample here as well. So I'll put that in the next episode with the FEF and the other Berkshire, etc. So, man, this is what happens when you don't do a show for a long time. You get behind, and there's just so many things to demo and show people. But thanks, everybody, for being patient with me. I'll work a bit on the microphone situation for the next episode. And let's see, we'll either have it a week from today or 2 weeks from today. See how it goes with meetings and timing. So thanks, everybody. And, might as well say when the Base 3 is coming. Forgot about that part. Base 3 is in production. Should be on the boat around June. So then, give a month and a half or so for it to get here. Let's say beginning of August is when it'll start shipping out from Lionel. Progress is good on that. Production's going along. It just takes time, especially in the quantities that we're building. A lot more quantities than we had initially anticipated, which is good. I'm glad you guys are all excited and anticipating it. And the Cab 3 app itself, I'm actually targeting June 1st for the initial release. Now, you won't obviously be able to use the Base 3 side of the app until the Base 3 gets here, but you will be able to use the Bluetooth side of the app. So I think, if we go live with the app June 1st, it will give people time to get familiar with how the app is set up, laid out, etc. So look for, if all things go well, look for that release then. And one last thing on the Base 3 and Cab 3 app. If you haven't heard by now, we do have a dedicated website for that. So go to control.lionel.com to read all about the Base 3, the Cab 3 app, and as well as, we've located some of the information for LCS there, as well as power supplies, power masters, things like that. So it's a website dedicated to the power and control aspect of your Lionel 3-rail trains. So please check out that website. One last announcement that I forgot about. This one's exciting for you guys. I want you to please tune in to a special Ryan and Dave show this Wednesday, 2 days from now. It's a very special show. We are going to be announcing something completely brand new tooling, and it's going to be a big deal. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I don't want to ruin that thunder, and I don't want Ryan to hurt me. But please tune in on Wednesday for that show, and be excited because it's going to bring some excitement to the 2024 spring. Special announcement outside of a catalog. So please join in for that announcement. And check back on Facebook when we do a post of what time that will be. I can't remember exactly what time right now. 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. at 10 a.m. I think it's 10 a.m. Eastern. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again, and see you next episode, and have a good night. Bye.